Hello, happy Thursday. It is time for live. I am on day 1 of the flu, so if I sound stuffy or gross, that's why, but still worth it to be here. So today we're going to talk about batching and how it can really help you with content creation. So first of all, what is batching? Batching is basically dedicating blocks of time to similar tasks so that you can decrease your distractions and increase your productivity. So sounds amazing. It's gonna help eliminate distractions because it's gonna reduce like the startup and wind down time of each of your tasks. And that way you can basically do a bunch of similar things at once versus like getting pulled all different directions during the day. So it helps you work smarter, not harder, which is what we're big fans of because we like to be what we like to call lazy efficient, where we find the smartest way of doing things versus the long way around, and that way we have more time for wine and Netflix. So why is batching important? Well, so every time you get distracted, it takes on average like 15 minutes for you to regain your complete focus. And if you're like me, you have a lot of daily clutter. So that means like I respond to things like as a notification comes up on my calendar, like I start doing that thing, or if like an email hits my inbox and it's like a campaign I need to apply to or something like that, like I go do that thing. So there's a lot of daily clutter, and what that ends up doing is making me feel really like stressed and pulled in different ways. So this way it's gonna help you feel more structured in all of your tasks and help you set priorities for your day so you really get the big things done instead of just doing all the little things. And then it helps reduce startup time. So think of like when you sit down to do a task, like let's say a blog post, you have to like turn on your computer, open all your tabs, do all your logins, probably get out your planner or notes or content calendar. Then you're probably gonna go, grab a snack, grab a drink, if you're like me, before you start working on your post at all. So that's like your startup period, and that takes way longer than you actually think. So if you can eliminate that and you sit down and you do a bunch of posts at once, then you only have to do that whole process once. And it seems little, but it really adds up. Like if you're sitting down doing that 3 or 4 times a week, to be able to sit down and do all that at once, knock it out. And then there's like startup time when it comes to like how you think. So like getting in the zone of writing, if you will. Then if you're gonna switch over and take pictures, like you're kind of in a different mindset. So you have to like shift, and all those different shifts throughout your day can cause stress. So here's how to batch. There is the simple way, which is what I use, and then there's the structured way, which if you're a really type A person, you're probably gonna wanna use that one, so I'm gonna give you both. The simple way, it's 2 steps. The first one is to make a quick list of all the major tasks that you do for your blog. And then the second step is to group similar tasks together and plan out time to do them in one big group. So then the structured way is similar, but you're gonna make a list of tasks that you usually do for your blog. You're going to group the like tasks into those blocks or into batches, and then kind of estimate how much time it's going to take to do each block. So like answering emails in one sitting for like every day in the afternoon might be 25 minutes, or like a bigger project like drafting posts could be like 2 hours. And then you schedule a time to do each of those blocks. And then when you're working on a block, you kind of work on each one for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and then go back to it. So that's gonna help you be really efficient, and you're not getting distracted by all these little different things you have to do. You're really planning out work that's similar. So some examples, and CJ is gonna go over probably the best example in depth, but I'll just give you some little examples and then some little categories that can help you. So one example is like creating your social media graphics, like Pinterest pins. I don't know if you've seen on our blog posts, at the bottom we have like little pins for each post. There's like 4 different images. So if you sit down all at once and create a bunch for different blog posts, if you draft all your posts at the same time, if you're a YouTuber, you can film multiple YouTube videos at the same time. That way you're not dragging out your camera and your lighting and all your crap multiple times throughout the week. You kind of just batch film, and then you can batch edit them. And side note, this has helped me be a lot less messy person because I tend to not put stuff away immediately after I use it. So if you're the same way, this definitely helps with that because you're making a mess less times per week. And then like editing photos. So a good way to batch when editing photos is using filters. So if you have Lightroom, that means creating Photoshop preset or Lightroom presets so that you can batch edit your photos and you're not having to go to each individual photo and adjust all those different things. So more categories you can think about when you're thinking about batching. You're reading, you're just blogging, any computer work. If you can group all your computer work into like one block, then you can go like screen free besides your phone and Instagram, obviously, for the rest of the day. Emails, phone calls, errands. Obviously, errands make a lot of sense because if you have to like get yourself ready and get in the car to go do stuff, might as well do a lot of things at once. Phone call, we already said phone calls, brainstorming, cleaning, and planning. Yeah, so that's what batching is. And it first sounded really intimidating to me because I'm not a planner. I was like, I just need to do whatever I feel like I need to do in the moment. But I realized that was causing me a lot of stress. So since I've started batching things, it has immensely increased my productivity. If you want more on this, we have a live that we did about planning your content like a boss. So that's on YouTube as well. And I will link to it in the bottom if you're watching the replay of this. And so yeah, now we'll go to CJ and she's going to tell you probably our favorite example for batching and some tips for it. And maybe she'll also touch on social media as far as like scheduling all your social media in one block because that's something that she does for My Haute Society. So yep, see you soon.
So Kara just did a really good job at explaining that. I always laugh because I had kind of been like, let's start this. I want to talk about this for live. And then she's like, oh, that's batching. Obviously, there was a name for it, and I had no idea. So I wanted to talk about just an example that I did this weekend that really made me efficient. Instead of what she talked about is obviously like doing the similar tasks all at one time. So something I noticed about myself with blogging is I could write all of these different posts, and then I had issues with actually getting content to post in those posts. So it was hard for me to do pictures. My husband works full time. Our weekends are our only free time and we always are busy. We like to hang out with a lot of friends. We visit a lot of family. So sometimes it can be really, really difficult to actually make that happen. So one of the things I did this weekend is I shot about 8 to 10 different looks. Shout out to my husband for doing that for everything, but I shot about 8 to 10 different looks. It only took an hour and a half to 2 hours. We drove downtown, we went to one location, and it was super, super easy. So with that, I then spent the other night, after I've shot all of them, then I actually sat down and edited every single one, which I use a preset, so that was super easy as well to help kind of make my life a little bit easier. For every look, I would kind of, put my normal preset, mess with it a little bit, and then I was able to just post that to that one look overall. So it made that really easy as well. And then what I've done from that is I've actually now gone into my WordPress, and I was feeling really creative one night and thinking of all these different post ideas. So I didn't want to waste that creativity with putting one title out there and then writing that entire post and then kind of forgetting about the other things I was going to actually post or create. So instead, I went into my WordPress and I just started creating. I think I've created 12 different posts at once. So the title came to me and I was able to shoot the title in there. So then now when I actually go write them, I'm able to just kind of write away for every single one when I'm feeling in the mood to write. And then I can go back and already have all the pictures that I can input into that for every single post. So basically I batched all of my pictures together to shoot and did 8 to 10. I then batched editing one separate night and was able to edit all of them. And then I batched another night of at least coming up with all of the different creative ideas. So now my next batch will just be to kind of batch and try and get as many of them written at one point whenever I feel the creative bug, which will probably be like on a Sunday when we have football on and I'm just kind of hanging on the couch in my sweatpants. That way I can just right away and eat away and just have a really good Sunday. So that's my batching tip, and that was definitely one of our favorite ones, is doing the shoot. I think easiest way to kind of be able to get everything done at once. We don't have to now probably shoot. I'll probably have them, take random OOTDs when I want to, but there's no way we need to shoot for at least the next 3 or 4 weeks, which is awesome. So batching everything together for a shoot, batching it together for an editing, and then batching it together for writing the post. So really has helped me out so far this week. I'm just now excited to be able to spend the weekend actually writing the post because I have all the content to go with it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was social media batching. I do obviously all the social media for my own blog, and as well as running all the social media for My Haute Society. So something I've learned, we've obviously talked a lot about Planoly, which is a great app. You can get it for free. You don't have to pay anything, or you can upgrade to get even more access to more uploads, more abilities. Like me and Kara are able to kind of link My Haute Society and Everyday Chiffon and Never Skip Brunch all into one. So there's benefits of paying, but anyway, batching, usually what I do is we do flat lay batches all the time. I'll go over to her house and we'll shoot like a bunch of different things, or I did it this weekend, she did it last weekend, and then we'll upload all of them. And then the day I'm feeling kind of creative and really want to move things around, I spent, I think, all day yesterday moving our entire feed around and got it all planned out all the way through next Friday. So then all I have to go do is upload the captions as we kind of go, which usually I try and batch those as well whenever I'm feeling into it. So I'll kind of go in, already have my feed all ready and pretty, so I don't even have to think about what I want to post. What I want to post is already there. It's just what I want to say. So whenever I'm feeling that creative bug, I'll go in there and try and knock out like 3 to 6 in a row. And then it's super easy to get onto Planoly. I can schedule them out. I get a little reminder on my phone, and all I have to do is get onto social media, post, and then engage with followers as I go. So that's definitely a really easy tip to kind of make things much easier for me and not as time consuming, since you want to spend a lot of your time trying to engage with followers rather than sitting there. I used to spend hours on end, which this sounds so psycho, but you get in your head with social media. I used to spend hours on end thinking about what to post, why I wanted to post it, what I would say with it. And then 2 hours would pass and I had no post up and I had nothing planned for the next few days. And then I didn't even want to post because I was over it. So that's a super big waste of time and not being efficient at all. So I think like when we interviewed Puno from People Map, she had said some type of word, but you're basically just being lazy, but lazy efficient, which is exactly how Kara and I work best. She has a little girl. I have a husband. Me and my husband are always visiting our family and always gone. Like we're going next weekend. So we don't have time to consistently always put, 8 hours a day of work into My Haute Society as well as having our separate blog. So batching has saved us a ton of time, has really been able to be fun because when you're feeling that creative bug, you can just run with it instead of having to force it out all the time. And then, like I said, it's just a huge, huge time saver. So I loved her tip on the emails as well. I think that's something we've done as well as we try and set up our Galentine's Day blogger collaboration we've talked about. We actually, I spent all day one day looking for all the brands, finding all the contacts, and then the next day actually writing out all the emails for them, and then the next day actually sending them. So that was easy for me instead of having to spend 15 hours one day looking, writing, and sending and kind of just stressing about it for no reason. So batching is a huge help for social media, for blogging, probably for a lot of things in life. You could probably apply it to, but that's definitely something we've learned and we wanted to share with you. So batch away, and I'm sure you'll find that it saves a lot of time. And if you haven't signed up for our Galentine's Day blogger collaboration, we're taking applications. We're trying to set up a big collaboration that we're going to pull a few of our bloggers from our community. So you have to be in the Denver area, unfortunately, unless you want to fly into Denver. That's super cool too. But if you haven't applied, just go click the link in our bio or jump onto the website, and it's right on our homepage. And then you can just apply to hopefully get into the blogger Galentine's Day collaboration. Bye, guys.